The proposed USD 383 budget for fiscal year 2025 may raise taxes by 4% for the average homeowner in the school district. The projected mill levy for fiscal year 2025 is 60.078 mills. Last year in fiscal year 2024, the mill levy was 60.095 mills. Superintendent Eric Reed.
As far as it pertains to revenue neutral, we kind of said as long as we're growing, we're going to exceed the revenue neutral rate almost every time if you're growing in valuation, unless you're going to reduce in other ways.
Reed said it was advised to keep the local option budget, or LOB, maxed out because of required transfers limiting what the school district can do with the funds. Reducing the LOB would reduce the amount of aid USD 383 can get. The school board approved the revenue neutral county certification with Riley County for the 2024-25 budget year. The Manhattan-Ogden School District will exceed the revenue neutral rate for mill levy funds for fiscal year 2025. The Riley County Commission on Thursday approved notices of revenue neutral rate for various county entities as part of the process to comply with state law. Most of these entities do not plan to exceed the revenue neutral rate, but the county has to notify the state if they do. Budget and Finance Officer Brittany Phillips.
We have to do this for every entity that you are the governing body for that levies a tax. So if they're going to exceed or not exceed, you have to vote to approve.
The only entity overseen by the county that plans to exceed the revenue neutral rate is Riley County Rural Fire District Number 1. Proposed mill levy is 8.05 mills. The Terra Heights Benefit District, Valleywood Operations Benefit District, University Park Water and Sewer District, and Carson Sewer do not plan to exceed the revenue neutral rate in 2025. The Riley County Commission unanimously approved and signed the indication of revenue neutral rate for these 5 entities. The Manhattan City Commission work session that was originally scheduled for next Tuesday has been canceled. The City Commission has instead called for a special meeting. Commissioners will recess into executive session to interview candidates for the city manager positions and to discuss candidates amongst themselves. Executive sessions are closed internal commission meetings and not open to the public. As of Friday, no other work session has been scheduled for next week. The next commission meeting is a legislative session set for July 30th. City manager candidates will meet with the public on Monday from 4:30 to 6 at the Flint Hills Discovery Center. The 30th annual Junction City Rodeo is set for tonight and tomorrow at the Geary County 4-H Fairgrounds Arena. The rodeo gets underway at 7:30 on both nights. The theme for tonight is Tough Enough to Wear Pink, and tomorrow night's theme is Red, White, and Blue. On both Friday and Saturday, the open rodeo will feature kids events such as the Boot Scramble, Calf Scramble, and Mutton Bustin'. On Saturday morning, there will be a special needs rodeo from 10 a.m. to noon. And then during the rodeo on Saturday night, the Queen Coronation will occur following the saddle bronc riding. Tickets are available to purchase before the rodeo at Tractor Supply and Stacy's Restaurant. All children 5 and under can get in for free. The Office of the Kansas State Treasurer has recently revealed that a Kansas resident was a victim of a scam by a government imposter. The scammer contacted the victim via the phone call and claimed to be a representative of the Kansas State Treasurer's office. The victim was told that he had recently won a sizable sum of money from the state lottery. The scammer then informed the victim that collecting his lottery winnings would require a payment. The victim was directed to wire funds as well as load money onto a gift card. And once payment was received, the scammer indicated the state treasurer would visit his home to present the winnings. Imposter scammers may call, text, or email to begin their scam. They often use caller ID to deceptively appear like the communication is coming from a reputable entity. Any request to make a payment in order to receive funds is likely fraud. Any request for payment using gift cards is never a legitimate method a government entity would utilize. Kansas isn't enforcing a new law requiring abortion providers to ask patients why they want to terminate their pregnancies. A legal challenge against that rule and other older requirements makes its way through the courts. Attorney for the state and for providers challenging the new law, among other requirements, announced a deal on Thursday. In return for not enforcing the law, the state will get another 4 months to develop its defense of the challenge restrictions ahead of a trial now delayed until late June 2025. The agreement was announced during a Zoom hearing in Johnson County District Court on Thursday. Kansas doesn't ban most abortions until the 22nd week of pregnancy. Its clinics now see thousands of patients from other states with near bans on abortion, most notably next door, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas. The new law was supposed to take effect on July 1st and would require providers to ask patients questions from a state script about their reasons for an abortion, although patients wouldn't be forced to answer. More on the day's headlines can be found at our website, NewsRadioKMAN.com, and themercury.com.
Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your sports headlines on K-Man's Morning News. After 2 days of workouts involving rookies and select veterans, the Kansas City Chiefs report in full today to Missouri Western for the start of training camp this weekend.
It all starts from scratch and it happens over. We talked about it in the offseason, and I think the guys will be ready to go.
Coach Andy Reid, as his team enters camp, looking to repeat as champs, having won the past 2 titles. At times last season, the offense struggled with wide receivers being inconsistent. Kansas City attempted to address that in the offseason by picking Xavier Worthy of Texas in the first round.
There's no ease. He's going to have to get out and be ready to go. We got a lot of competition on this offense. Brett Veach and Coach Reid did a great job bringing a lot of competition in. And Xavier, he got a lot of mental work in these last few weeks that he had during OTAs and minicamp, but it's time to go now. And, y'all saw it with Rasheed last year and some of the throwing up days he had. We're gonna push you to the limit and prepare yourself to be ready to go for the season. And that's not just him, that's everybody. And everybody has to have that mentality when they come into camp.
Also added to the mix was Hollywood Brown, while Rashee Rice returns after his strong rookie season, though his status could be affected by his legal issues tied to a high-speed car wreck earlier this spring in Dallas. The first practice session of camp will be Sunday morning at St. Joseph. Abner Haynes, a member of the Chiefs Hall of Fame, has passed away at the age of 86. The running back who helped popularize the American Football League passed away Thursday in Dallas. In a statement, Chiefs Chair and CEO Clark Hunt wrote that Haynes was still an active member of the Kansas City community, saying he and his family were deeply saddened by the late running back's death. Haynes was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1960, but elected to instead go to the Dallas Texans for the AFL's first season. In that 1960 campaign, he became the first recipient of the league's Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player awards, and became an AFL champion in 1962 with the franchise. Haynes, all told, spent 5 years with the Texans and Chiefs, including 2 after the team moved to Kansas City in 1963. His professional football career came to an end in 1967 after stints with the Denver Broncos, Miami Dolphins, and New York Jets. 30 years after his time with the Chiefs, he was inducted into the team's Hall of Fame in 1991. His jersey number is just one of 10 that have been retired by the franchise. Before he joined Kansas City, Haynes played college football at North Texas State, now the University of North Texas. The Texan-born halfback, along with teammate Leon Kinn, were the first 2 black athletes to play college football in the state when they attended North Texas in 1956. The Kansas City Royals returned to the field for the first time since Sunday with the All-Star break now in the rearview mirror. Michael Wacha will start the de facto second half of the season for KC tonight as they open the stretch drive of the season against the White Sox at Kauffman Stadium. Chris Flexen will throw for the last-place team in the AL Central as they try to snap a 4-game slide in the 7-10 contest. Coverage on News Radio KMAN gets underway at 6:30. The Royals' schedule for next year unveiled yesterday. It sets up Kansas City to open next spring against Cleveland at Kauffman Stadium on March 27th. The wind caught just about everyone off guard Thursday at the British Open as it came from the opposite direction off the Irish Sea, accompanied by occasional rain. It made Royal Troon a tougher test than anyone was expecting on the opening day. Daniel Brown made his major championship debut a memorable one, birdieing 2 of the last 3 holes for a 665. That gave him a 1-shot lead over Shane Lowry. Rory McIlroy shot a 78 with a pair of double bogeys, ditto for U.S. Open champ Bryson DeChambeau, who went out in 42 on his way to a 76. Every major right now tough for 48-year-old Tiger Woods. He scored a 79 for his highest start in a major since shooting an 80 at 2015's U.S. Open at Chambers Bay.
I didn't do a whole lot of things right today. Made that putt on the 3rd hole, and then I think I had, three putts today. Didn't hit my irons very close, and didn't give myself a whole lot of looks today. So need to shoot something in the mid-60s tomorrow to get something on going on the weekend.
Justin Thomas off to another great start for a second straight week in Scotland. He had a 68, and the group at 69 included PGA champ Xander Schauffele and Justin Rose. Royals baseball tonight on News Radio KMAN with coverage at 6:30, 7:10 for the first pitch as the Royals and White Sox open a weekend set at Kauffman Stadium. On your home for Royals baseball, News Radio KMAN.